Thanks for tuning into the BoshNRoll channel. Liking and subscribing the channel is free and easy, and it helps me out a lot. If you want to go a little farther with your support, I have Patreon and YouTube membership available, which includes access to the BoshNRoll Discord server, early access to things I'm working on, sideboard plans, cards I'm buying. You could have me play your deck on the channel, and the highest tiers come with individual coaching sessions. If you use the YouTube membership option, you get sweet, unique YouTube badges and emotes for the channel. If you want to play what I'm playing, you can use the code BoshNRoll to support my channel while you shop for cards at tcgplayer.com. And if you're playing on Magic Online, a cardhoarder.com loan account can let you play any deck anytime. If you want to wear your support, there is BoshNRoll merch available. All of these links are in the video description below. Thank you so much for watching. Now let's go play some Magic. Welcome to another BoshNRoll video. Today, I am going real fast. This is 8-Whack, brought to you by subscriber Kevin. Kevin loves aggro, loves red cards, loves white cards, and wanted to see 8-Whack brought to Legacy. What 8-Whack is, it's a traditionally modern deck that's just trying to win the game real fast by attacking with creatures. The name comes from Goblin Bushwhacker. This is a 1-mana 1/1 with kicker red. When Bushwhacker enters the battlefield, if it was kicked, creatures you control get +1/+0 and haste until end of turn. And then they brought it back a few sets later in Return to Zendikar, whatever this Battle for Zendikar? I think that was the second Zendikar block. This one's from original Zendikar. They paid homage in the next round of Zendikar sets. This is a 3-mana 2/1 haste with Surge. Surge is a mechanic from that set that if you've played a creature spell, or cast another spell this turn, it doesn't have to be a creature, another spell this turn, you can Surge it. And if the Surge cost was paid, other creatures you control get +1/+0 and gain haste until end of turn. So this is another 2-mana Bushwhacker, as long as you have Surge, and this one is 2 mana if you kick it. So these are very close to the same card. And the goal is to just put a bunch of creatures on the board very quickly, buff them, give them haste, and get over the finish line. You're trying to Goldfish turn 2, or not turn 2, that's not really possible, turn 3 or turn 4 most of the time. And the way you go wide is there's different takes on this deck throughout history, and I've decided to go for an artifact theme build using Mox Opal. Kevin specifically asked me to try this in Legacy, and there's actually a cool story to that. Kevin was one of the many people out there who believe that Legacy is like a turn 1, turn 2 broken format. It's like Force of Will or bust, or you're just dead. And from watching my channel, he learned that Legacy is actually super interactive. Games go long. There's a lot of different things going on in the format. And that inspired him to ask me to try 8-Whack in Legacy, where he thought that it would just be embarrassed by Tendrils of Agony in the past, but he now understands that's not true. And I am happy to embrace the chaos and give this a try. I've taken an artifact theme slant to it in order to get Mox Opal. This is a card that's banned in Modern, and since we're playing Legacy, I figured we should put some Legacy cards in the deck. So Great Furnace in the deck helped turn that on. Memnite, Ornithopter, Bomat Courier, and Signal Pest are all cheap creatures. Bomat Courier can recoup cards, and card advantage is hard to find in mono red aggro, let me tell you. But Bomat Courier is one of the things that can do it. Signal Pest, really cool artifact. It's kind of like a Bushwhacker. It has Battle Cry, so when it attacks, your other creatures get +1/+0. It doesn't have the haste that goes with it, but it enables the deck, and it's kind of like Whacker 9 through 12. And of course, Goblin Guide to go fast, Lightning Bolt, Shrapnel Blast to get some reach in if they stabilize the board. We want to go face with the rest of the damage. Burning Tree Emissary, 2-mana 2/2. When it enters the battlefield, you get 2 mana. Basically, free spell, free storm, free surge, free bodies on the table. All important stuff for this deck. And my season to taste is Venerated Loxodon. I looked at a lot of lists throughout the history of these 8-Whacker decks, and I found lists from both Saffron Olive and Jim Davis from, many years ago at this point, like 4 or 5 years old, that use Venerated Loxodon to turn their little idiots into medium-sized idiots and make a huge idiot on the cheap while they do it. So I'm into that. There's 2 of it in the deck. It's not a plan. I'm not playing 4 of it. Most of the time, I just want to be attacking with my creatures and winning the game. Once in a while, you can do something bigger, and I like that. The mana base, I have 4 Sunbaked Canyon, because drawing a card, like your life total is going to matter a lot less than theirs. You can take the life, but recouping cards in the mid game is going to be pretty important. I have a fetch land mana base just for mild thinning, and let's talk about that real quick. I'm going to pull up this deck on MTG Goldfish. The price of this deck, as I have it constructed here, just under $1,800, and most of that, 700 of it is the plateaus, and 427 of it is the taiga. So all that's really left that costs money in this deck, other than the dual lands, is the fetch lands and Mox Opal. You can easily rebuild the deck for $450 if you just change the mana base. Inspiring Vantage is basically plateau. You still get Great Furnace. You could just play mountains instead of the fetch lands. All you lose is a small edge of thinning your deck, but the games are going to go so quick that thinning your deck probably doesn't matter that much. Like, you can cut the dual lands, cut the fetch lands, and still play this deck completely functionally for $458. And I think that's pretty cool. Building for budget isn't really something I do on this channel. Like, I'm usually just trying to make the deck work at all, and adding budget constraints on top of the brew challenge isn't really possible. But this deck, it's very easy to just cut $1,300 off the price of this deck by playing some less expensive lands, and it's not going to hurt you that bad. That said, that's the main deck. The sideboard is just stuff for Legacy. And Deafening Silence is cool because you barely have any non-creature spells. You can easily do like turn 1 Deafening Silence, turn 2 Memnite, Ornithopter, Bomat Courier, Bushwhacker, get in. Like, it doesn't really affect your deck at all. Mindbreak Trap and Surgical Extraction to help you get to turn 1. Containment Priest, love this card. Prismatic Ending, that's the reason there's 1 taiga in the deck. I'm not sure how important that's going to be, but it mostly doesn't matter. The deck is mono red, except for Loxodon Hierarch. And Prismatic Ending, if I could get it up to 3, if I do need to remove like Ensnaring Bridge or something, I figured that was low cost. If you are doing the fetch land dual land mana thing, then Pyrobest and a Braid to clear the way and get over the finish line. That's 8 whack. Let's go win some games very quickly. We're on the draw in round number 1 with kind of an awkward slow hand. I think I'm going to mulligan this one. This just doesn't really go fast enough. See, what does this actually look like? If I go Ornithopter, Bushwhacker, then the next turn I don't have enough for Loxodon. Yeah, this is a mulligan. This is a keep. This is almost the same hand. The difference is that I can attack and have an extra creature in Goblin Guide, where the previous hand had a terrible creature in Bushwhacker. It's a great creature if your hand's full of creatures. It's bad if your hand does not have any creatures. So I'd rather have Goblin Guide here for sure. There's a whacker. Okay. I'm going to get in with my Goblin Guide. I'm thinking maybe I should have led on Great Furnace. At first I was like, is Great Furnace more or less important? Because it turns on Mox Opal, but I am holding the 1 white card in my deck, so maybe I should have led on the Great Furnace in case this is a Wasteland deck. They have the sweet little Brainstorm. As a blue player, I'm usually on the other side of this interaction. Like, you get to Brainstorm, put a land on top, and draw that land from Goblin Guide. Just little card advantage while you take your 2 damage. Now I have a choice of running out the Ornithopter or slow rolling it, and I think I'm going to slow roll it. I don't want them to necessarily know what I'm up to. I don't think they're going to have an Edict effect. Alright, that is representing Icefang Coatl, which is not yet deadly. It is deadly to Bomat Courier. It's not deadly to Ornithopter. I'm going to Thop and whack. Just going to push my advantage here. I can't get the Elephant in this turn anyway, so I'm just going to push damage where I can push it before their Icefang Coatl has Death Touch. They could still trade it for Bushwhacker, but I think that's okay. Okay, they just didn't have it. I'll take that. They did pick up another Snowland along the way. Oh, you're show and tell, Jesus Christ. Alright, we're dead. I thought we were doing well. Ha! Venerated Loxodon is in play. Yeah, against Bant Control, we were doing pretty well, but we're just going to get dumpstered by a combo here. Oh yeah. Okay. Okay. Welcome to Legacy, kids. Okay, it's sideboard time. I want Pyroblast. I want Mindbreak Trap. I want Containment Priest. I don't think I'm going to want Surgical, Abrade. Deafening Silence could also be pretty sick. The problem is bringing in 8 cards. I have to find 8 cards to cut. I think Loxodon is an easy cut. Shrapnel Blast. I'm either going to get over the finish line or I'm not. Like, I don't think they're going to sweep the board, stabilize, and then I have to win with reach. So that makes the burn spells a lot worse. Yeah, I think I'm just going 0 burn spells in all this hate. And in we go. Alright, I have the Deafening Silence, but no lands of any kind or mana sources. Got a mulligan this one. Come on, deck. Not like this. I need all the help I can get. Okay, this one's fine. I'm gonna put Taiga and a Memnite on the bottom. Then I'll play Memnite Signal Pest. I can Containment Priest on the following turn. Taiga goes. I guess I could ship the Priest, but I think that's going to be pretty important. It represents less damage, but I don't think I'm killing this opponent before they kill me. I'm going to get the Plateau, Signal Pest, Memnite. Let's go. Ponder from the opponent. They chose to shuffle. That's good news. What represents more damage? What represents more safety? Like, I could whack right now for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 damage. Or I could attack for 2, cast Priest, and get in for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 damage next turn. So 7 plus 4. I think I just want to whack now. Even more so than the amount of damage. I don't think my opponent is going to combo off this turn. And Omnitel isn't great at turn 2 show and tells, but they are great at turn 3 show and tells. Uh-oh. I'm going to be feasting on my words in a second here. Okay. It seems like I'm getting a turn. Here comes the squad. In for 4. I don't get to bluff an extra card here. Ooh, spending mana on... Are they going to get Cunning Wish, or they're casting Intuition? Okay. Well, we're probably dead. Needed blue blast in hand, or red blast in hand here, and the mull to 5. Just having 2 extra cards here would be such a big deal. And they just got Omniscience, so we're definitely dead. If they got Show and Tell or got Emrakul, maybe there's a world, but if they got Omniscience, it means they just have it. Yeah, okay. Died to the mull to 5. And they're at 5 life. 2 extra cards in hand could easily represent that 5 damage. But yeah, now we're dead. Okay. They were a little faster. On to the next round. I have won the die roll in this game. I'm going to keep my hand, of course. I'm just deciding how I'm going to sequence it. If I play Goblin Guide on 1 and attack, they take 2. I attack again, they take 4. If I play Signal Pest on 1, they attack together on turn 2, they take 3. So it's more damage if I lead on Goblin Guide. I'm going to lead on Basic Mountain just in case they're a Wasteland deck. I mean, Wastelanding when you're behind to a Goblin Guide is not really a great play. Maybe I should try to hook them into it. But having my 1 white card in the hand again has been pretty fun. Oh, Arclight Phoenix. We're both whacking. The one thing I didn't talk about in the deck tech is that there are other ways to whack in Legacy that are probably better. Like, there is the Hollowvine Madness deck, which is basically 8 whack. And then there is Arclight Phoenix, things like that, that are probably just a better version of the same thing. But that's okay, because we are here to do a specific thing, and that thing is whack 8 times. Drawing another Goblin Guide is fucking dope. I'm just gonna put my foot on the gas with that. Lightning Bolt clearing out Ragavan. My deck's full of cards that the Arclight Phoenix deck might actually want. Oh, they're drawing Force of Will. better late than never, I guess. Ponder, you got it. So seeing that they have Force of Will means that I don't want to tap for my Loxodon, but they appear to have just conceded. I guess that Ponder didn't have what they needed. Interesting. That's how you do it. Whack, 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 whack. This deck is going to struggle with Deafening Silence and Surgical Extraction. I'm not sure if I want Mindbreak Trap also, but maybe I do. Their deck literally functions by casting 3 spells in a turn, so maybe I do want that. I'm going to shave the Loxodons, and this is a deck that we might have to burn out. So I'm going to leave in some Lightning Bolts. Also, they showed me Ragavan, which is something that is worth killing, for sure. Gotta cut one more thing. I'm looking at either a Reckless Bushwhacker. I guess Reckless Bushwhacker, if I'm going to shave one, it should be the original Bushwhacker, because this is red-red, and this is red colorless for the same effect. Every mana source in my deck is red, so I guess that doesn't actually matter at all. This one is better if I top deck it on an empty board, because it's a 2-1 haste all on its own. I think I'm... Oh, there is one source of non-red mana in my deck, and it's Burning Tree Emissary, so Reckless Bushwhacker is slightly better than Goblin Bushwhacker. Shave a Goblin Bushwhacker. And Signal Pest doesn't actually have flying. So is Signal Pest better than Whacker? I think it probably is, because it turns on the opals and everything. Oh, Containment Priest is good in this matchup too. Wow, I just have so many sideboard cards for this sort of thing. I don't know how low on my actual plan I can go, but alright, here we are. It's a pretty heavy sideboard for an aggro deck, but if we keep playing against combo decks, you gotta do what you gotta do. Yup. Keep. This hand is both good on rate and also has 2 sideboard cards in it. They did not shuffle that Ponder. Drawing Arid Mesa gives me a little bit to think about. I am gonna crack the Mesa. It's just deck thinning, which, like I said in the deck tech, that is the only reason we're playing fetch lands. I guess not the only reason, because I do have the small green splash to facilitate Prismatic Ending. But mostly, the fetch lands are in here for deck thinning, and I'm going to take it because it's there. Bomat Courier in for 1, tucking a card underneath. The Braid. What have you done to my beautiful boy? Unlocks Opal. So that lets me play around Daze, I guess. This would have been a lot more exciting with Bomat Courier in play, but I'll take my 4 damage. Steady stream of attacking here. Sunbaked Canyon can redraw, and I still have 2 mana up next turn. And unless they board it into just full Grixis control, at some point they're going to have to cast some spells that walk into Mindbreak Trap or Surgical, if they are still doing the Arclight Phoenix thing. They Brainstorm, they shuffle. Another Braid. Ouch. Okay. That turns off Mox Opal, notably. Deafening Silence, hell yeah. Let's take a break here. Slow it down. I am gonna draw a card, as I do play zeros, hello, like so. And that 0 will turn on my Opal. I think I'm actually gonna slow roll it in case I draw the Surge Whacker. That's just a spell I can play, and it's not attacking for anything on its own. Alright. The control deck has controlled. Oh, they have Murktide Regent? Shit. That's going to be hard to beat. This Deafening Silence is looking awkward now. Okay, there's Murktide Regent. Gonna have to build up quite an offense pretty quickly here. Oh, another Deafening Silence. That's what I needed. And I guess I'll play it. And I will put out my Ornithopter, because that turns on Opal and lets me Surgical for mana instead of life, which could end up mattering. Ornithopter can also block Murktide if necessary. Yeah, this sideboard pivot off of Arclight Phoenix and into just Izzet control, or Grixis control, is pretty nice. I'm going to go to 11 from this attack. I'm not ready to cash in my Ornithopter. I'm not winning if I start blocking. I'm here to attack. I have no other plan. And yeah, that extra land isn't going to do it. There's no way to get through this at this point. Murktide Regent, huh? Maybe I should have my Red Elemental Blast in the deck instead of some of the other stuff that I've been goofing around with. The Mindbreak Trap, less important than Pyroblast if we're playing against Murktide Regents and that kind of thing. I could also try to overload the board on the play. I have the Surgicals for the Phoenix. Yeah, maybe Containment Priest is just a little too slow. And on the play, I'm just gonna put the pedal to the metal. And I have all my emissaries back in, all my signal pests back in. Goblin Bushwhacker versus the 6 sideboard cards. I think I want the sideboard cards that I have at this point. Yeah, let's do it. And now that they've seen Deafening Silence, they might board out the Phoenix plan if it was even still in the deck at all. On the play. Oh, this is so close. I'm going to keep this, and I'm going to play Memnite Signal Pest, and I'm going to slow roll the other Memnite in case I draw a mana source. And then I get to whack. Okay. Pass the turn. Gotta draw a land. They have Volcanic Island, the Delver of Secrets. You got it. Come on, land. Even better. Okay. Opal. Memnite. Whack. Here it comes. Do they have Daze? Do they have Force of Will? Alright, they took a Force of Will to answer that. Now I get to attack for 2. They can't block the Signal Pest. If they want to trade Delver for Memnite, I think I'm okay with that deal. Alright, it's in there. They did just save a shitload of damage though with that Force of Will. Ponder. My hand is running low on juice here. I'm gonna need some help. Bomat Courier, I think, is my favorite draw right now. They did not shuffle their Ponder. Oh, they're tapping red mana. Oh, Gutshot's in this deck. Oh, right, they are a Phoenix deck. That's fair. Alright, this match just got a lot harder. Alright, well, my Opal's back on. I'll take that. No reason to attack with Pest. I mean, what? I'm not bluffing anything. It's just a 0 mana or 0 power attacker. Ragavan with dash. I'm gonna lightning bolt that. I don't think letting them pull ahead on cards and other axes of resources is the way to win this game. With them at 18, it's not like I'm particularly close to burning them out without lightning bolt. I am gonna play out my land. There's no reason to bluff anything. I can get the thinning value, plus just having more mana in play is important. If I draw the Sunbaked Canyon, I want to be able to use it. I can answer this Delver whenever I need to with Pyroblast, but I'd prefer to save it for a Murktide Regent. Alright, who's the control deck now? Delver didn't flip. Another Ragavan. I have another Lightning Bolt. Take care of that. Alright, Delver wants to race. Can I draw a Bomat Courier, please? The control deck continues. If I were attacking for even 1, I would feel good about this board state, but I'm not. I am attacking for a lot less than that, which is 0. Null Rod. That's pretty good. I'll Bolt Delver in response. Alright, Null Rod's powerful. That knocks out half my mana. Okay. Let's go. Can't play around days at this point. In for 4. At least now we're clocking. I can kill Murktide Regent the same as counter it. Like, that doesn't matter. That I'm tapped out right now. Delver. More creatures. Ooh. Don't mind if I do. I'd feel better without Null Red in play, but I'm also pretty happy just attacking a lot. Here they are. 7 damage. You want to trade your Delver? Deal. We go to 10. Tick tock. I wonder how many black cards are in their hand. They were Grixis last game. Oh shit, they found black mana. Am I dead? Kolagon's command put me in the fucking ground. Hardcast gut shot, sure. Cool. Alright. There aren't many completely useless draws in my deck, but that is one of them. Ah, Gabo. I'm not excited about giving them extra cards, but I don't think lands are what they're in the market for right now. Scalding Tarn is in their hand now. It's alright. You're at 7. I'm leaving Great Furnace in my hand because it's useless. I get to bluff something, and I also get to insulate against Kolagon's command. So I have this Precious Pyroblast. I could fight over this Brainstorm now, try to get over the finish line, or I could wait for Murktide Regent. I think I have to wait. I just can't beat Murktide Regent any other way. So I'm gonna leave this card in my hand. They're not dead on board. I'm not pressuring that hard. And I only play 2 of these, and I have 1 right now. Gotta keep it. Dark Ritual, oh no. They're still on Phoenixes after they saw all my sideboard hate in game 2. Ouch. Alright, now I can't win. They just put 3 Phoenixes into play, and they don't even have to attack. They can just like, oh god, Demilich. This is sick. You may cast Demilich from your graveyard by exiling 4 instant or sorcery cards from your graveyard in addition to paying its other costs. That's exciting. Alright. We're getting Demiliched. I'm not mad about it. I think they should attack with the 1 Phoenix here. Yeah, alright. So I have to let Demilich resolve, because if I counter it, they just replay it right away. I have to destroy this thing in the end step. Hope I got to play around Daze here. I didn't play around Daze. I can't play around Flusterstorm anyway. I think having my mana up going into my turn is worth more than playing around Daze in this spot. But Flusterstorm obviously locked up, ready to party. I boarded out my Shrapnel Blast, unfortunately, so I think this game is about over. Okay, so they can cast an instant out of their graveyard when this thing attacks. And there is Brainstorm, Gutshot. Okay, I'm losing my Signal Pest to the Gutshot in the graveyard anyway, so I'm just going to attack with all my creatures. Lightning Bolt is the draw. Yeah, I think this one has gone out of reach. They can just line up all their easiest blocks. Yeah, alright. This one's done. They got under my aggression. The controlling aspects of this deck were too powerful for what I was up to. GG's. We're about halfway through the video, so let me just remind you that if you like this deck and you want to try it out, you can use the code BoshNRoll to support the channel while you shop for cards at tcgplayer.com, and you can play any deck anytime with cardhoarder.com loan account on Magic Online. These links are in the video description below. Now back to the league. I'm on the draw with this hand. This is the wackiest hand we've had. I'm gonna keep it. It's ready to fuck, as they say. If I draw Mox Opal, my turn 1 is just out of control. Oh, speaking of Mox. Oh yeah, Sylvan Library? That's a liability. Come on, Mox Opal. Okay, no Mox Opal. I'm gonna fetch my basic Mountain, because they are a Wasteland deck, almost certainly. I can't imagine what this deck is doing if it's not recurring Wasteland. Alright, please don't get a land. Thespian Stage. Alright, it's okay. They only play 32 of them. Sylvan Library. They're not going to be able to take a lot of extra cards. Am I dead right now to a crop rotation? And the answer is no, because they would have to crop rotate their Yavimaya, which would leave them... Oh wait, maybe. No. It takes Yavimaya... They picked up Stage, by the way. That's why I'm thinking about that. Loaming up Caracas. Okay. It's time. It is time. Okay. Oh, I can just cast Burning Tree Emissary off of this, but it's in the deck to thin, like I've said, so I'm gonna take my thin value. Alright, let's go. Burning Tree Emissary. Get some mana. Ornithopter. Whack. How's that Caracas feeling? I'm about to Carac you for a bunch. Right, they found a wasteland. Hopefully it's too late. They're at 9. I have Goblin Guide Lightning Bolt in hand. That's 5 additional damage that they don't know about yet. They dredged Loam for one of their library draws. Pretty sure they're dead even through Merit Lage at this point. They're going to take 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah. Even if they make Merit Lage right now, they still just die. Pithing Needle in the main deck. That tells me they have Urza Saga. And that's not a card you just put in your deck. Valakut Exploration. Don't think that matters. I guess they could crop rotate for... what is that card? Glacial Chasm. But now they don't have any mana up. I think they're just dead. Great Furnace. Goblin Guide. Lightning Bolt is here too. Whack. In with the Ornithopter to send a message. And bolt you out. GG. Okay. Completely obliterated lands. This is... this does appear to be just actual lands. Based on their start with Yavimaya, I thought they would be green-white depths, but this is definitely just actual factual lands. Prismatic Ending is probably reasonable against them, if I think I want to react to what they're doing at all, or if I just want to go to the dome. I'm going to have a really hard time beating Glacial Chasm. I think I just want the Surgicals in the deck and not mess around with anything else. What are the cuts in this matchup? I think that the Shrapnel Blasts and Lightning Bolts are going to be really important here. Am I just cutting Venerated Loxodon again? You poor animal. Loxodon's really good in the fair matchups where having bigger creatures and spending some time to get them there makes sense, but we've just played against basically 3 unfair matchups. You can argue if lands is fair or unfair, and if that distinction is actually meaningful, but lands is definitely doing a type of magic that doesn't exist outside of Legacy, which I would categorize as an unfair thing. A Mox Opal appearing. This is a double Goblin Guide start. Please don't have Chalice of the Void. Okay. Great Furnace. Memnite, what a twist. Mox Opal. I probably should have played Opal before Memnite in case they have Lightning Bolt. They could have actually taken me off mana there. I think that I'd rather get Bomat Courier building up here than attack for the extra damage with Goblin Guide. Crop Rotation is the draw. They Maze of Ith my Goblin Guide. Alright. I have a real good whack set up for next turn. The Crop Rotation's kind of a bummer because that can just get Glacial Chasm at any point. Oh, they rotated away, this other rotation. Are they trying to speed out a Merit Lage on me? What's the plan? Are they getting Tabernacle? That would be pretty bad too. Okay. Do they already have Tabernacle? Is that the question? They saw Crop Rotation and then shuffled it away on purpose. So they must be up to something. Light from the Loam picking up 2 Maze of Iths. That's pretty dope. Exploration, another Maze of Ith. Okay. I see what they're up to. I see you over there. I'm going to fetch for my basic. They are loaming pretty hard over there. Don't want to give them too much for it. If they find a wasteland. Whack. In we go. Hopefully they can't kill Bomat Courier this turn. If I draw 3 cards off it next turn, things are going to be pretty good. Grove of the Burn Willows. Oh no, they drew Pithing Needle. They can just name Bromat. If they don't dredge Loam. Right, they're at 10. They dredged Loam, so the needle's gone. My Bromat gets to live. They have Loam, Grove, and 2 mystery cards in hand right now. If one of those mystery cards is Punishing Fire, we're probably fucked. Dark Depths, okay. Stage is in the graveyard and Loam is in their hand. Interesting. They had a land drop still, right? They could have threatened Merit Lage right now. Unless they have Crop Rotation and they're threatening Merit Lage anyway. Okay, they were waiting for now to do that. I can't Surge this Reckless Bushwhacker, and Sunbaked Canyon is just a redraw anyway. They definitely did that perfectly. I'm gonna cash it in. Let's go. Okay. Some more shitters. More fuel for the fire. Literally. Ancient Tomb and Exploration are revealed. This double Mazavith is a beating. But remember, the deck is still full of all the burn spells that I play. And I'm trying to get their life total to a point where I can Trap Blast them. And they have Merit Lage basically on board. There is a stage in the graveyard, Merit Lage in their hand, or Dark Depths in play, Loam in their hand. Mindbreak Trap. They boarded that in. That's a lot of respect for my combo. Or my explosive potential. Okay, stage 1, 2, 3. Yeah, they can stage and Punishing Fire and Mazavith this turn. If I draw Shrapnel Blast, I might be able to punch enough damage through. But short of that, I'm in some trouble. Okay, hitting the Signal Pest right now is smart. They can still make Merit Lage. Yeah. Look who showed up just a little too late. None of these creatures have flying. I'm gonna attack with everything. Maybe they'll hesitate on Merit Lage. That would be great. Mindbreak Trap on top of the deck. Like if they just maze me and wait. Like if they maze me twice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They do die to Lightning Bolt if they don't maze me twice. Wow, okay. We are getting away with some stuff here. Oh no, they have Ancient Tomb in play. 1, 2, 3. Okay, yeah. I forgot Ancient Tomb can just like tap normally. I was looking at it for Yavimaya. Yeah, okay, we're dead. They would have died to Shrapnel Blast. Important to note. I'm going to get a look at their deck to inform sideboarding. And I want to show them Surgical. So they're thinking about it, and maybe they'll make sideboard decisions based on that. I think seeing their entire list, though, is worth more than them knowing I have Surgical Extraction. 3 Force of Vigors, holy shit. Sphere of Resistance. 2 Sagas. Oh, they did board in 4 Mindbreak Traps against me. That's a lot of respect. Alright, that Force of Vigor is a beating, but okay. Okay, Force of Vigor. That's scary. Right, they have the Spheres of Resistance. Is there a world where I pivot onto some elephant shit? And Mox Opal is such an explosive start. I think if they 2-for-1 themselves off of Force of Vigor, it's worth the 2-for-1 I get out of it. I don't think the elephant actually matters. I do think Prismatic Ending's important. What is worse? An Ornithopter is not great, but it does enable a lot of the early stuff. I think I need the Burning Tramissaries, especially on the play. Big fan of that. Maybe I just cut the Surgicals and try to go fast on the play. Okay, that's my plan. I don't know if it makes perfect sense, but like if they're loaming and p-firing and I'm surgicaling, I feel like I've already fallen behind, and I'd rather just draw a card that deals damage to my opponent. Okay, I mean, this would be a horrendous time for them to have Force of Vigor. It's also a pretty horrendous time for them to have Mindbreak Trap. Bomat Courier, go. Mem Knight. Go ahead, have Mindbreak Trap. I dare ya. Alright, Bomat Courier picked up a card. I think Force of Vigor would have happened by now if they had it. Mox. Sphere, I'm gonna bolt them in response. Let's get the damage in. Drawing a mana source to whack here would be a big deal. Alright, that's not a whack, but it is a spell I can cast. In for damage. Life from the Loam is the card that was just revealed from Goblin Guide. They're kind of under their own sphere right now. Oh shit. Well, Tabernacle's gonna hurt. I'm gonna keep Goblin Guide and Bomat Courier. Kept Goblin Guide and Bomat Courier. Attack for my damages. Mox Diamond revealed off the top. That's another thing that gets hurt from their own sphere. Ooh, no spell, no land drop. Put it in my veins. In for some more damage. Keep revealing spells. Wasteland is a complete fucking nightmare. I'm actually just dead. They waste me, it takes me off Metalcraft, and I can't pay for either of my creatures. My life is shit. Playing Mox Diamond, discarding Urza Saga. Yeah, they can start loaming next turn. Yeah, I just have no play here. Oh, wait. No, I couldn't have played Memnite because it would have cost 1. Well, can't pay. Can't pay, can't activate. Heartbreaker. Absolute heartbreaker. Where the fuck were you last turn, Mountain? Alright, here's Memnite. Gotta keep my pressure going where I can. They Life from the Loam, pick up 3 things. Urza Saga's pretty rough. Gotta find some damage before I'm dead. Shrapnel Blast. I'm attacking them to 5 right now. I mean, that's the magic number. I need 2 more mana though, which is a lot to ask out of this deck. So Urza Saga ticks up. They did not dredge a loam. I'm gonna keep paying for Memnite because that is an artifact, and if I draw Great Furnace, I get to do stuff. Alright, there's no attack here. We are so close right now. Can taste it. It's gonna fall apart quick when these constructs start turning sideways, but we are close. They dredged loam, found Mazavith, and Punishing Fire. Make another big creature. What's the tutor for? Needle, okay. What do you name with that? Mox Opal, nice try, that doesn't do anything. I think I have to block with Memnite at this point. So I have to runner, fetch lands. It's not looking good, is what I'm saying. Okay. The low land count of the deck is betraying me. It's a feature of the deck, it's a good thing. Maybe the fetchless version is better in this matchup. That the fetchless version has 5 basic mountains in it. Maybe I should be on the $400 version instead of the 17. And I'm dead in 2 attacks and can't cast any spells. Like this, that Sphere of Resistance, okay. We were already dead, but that's another sphere. We win that game without a Tabernacle. We win that game without a Sphere of Resistance. Everything did line up correctly. I mean, they have a bunch of stuff. I'm not complaining. Just saying there are reasonable alternate timelines where Doctor Strange would have seen us win that game. Next round's coming. I'm on the draw in the 4th round, and I think this hand is good. You only play 20 mana sources. There's 17 lands plus the 3 Moxen. So sometimes you're going to have to keep 1-landers and just hope that stuff happens for you. Ponder, no shuffle. Hey, that's the thing I said might happen. It's Goblin Guide time. Did they put a land on top? Did they predict that this was coming? Nope, just a brainstorm. Uninspired. And here's Memnite. What a twist. Alright, they have Flooded Strand, fetch it. They're pretty clearly holding up Swords to Plowshares. They're going to wait until my Goblin Guide triggers. Do I want to whack now or invest in the pest and then whack next turn? I think I'm going to invest in my pest. So Goblin Guide's going to trigger. They're going to Swords to Plowshares. Oh, they revealed another plow. That sucks. Okay. Yeah, revealing the second plow. Unexciting, but it's fine. Here are my signal pest. And I'm going to hold the Ornithopter. I can play that and whack at the same time. I guess if they would force a will Bushwhacker, I would rather have Ornithopter in play now, because one of these pests is likely to connect. Okay, let's see where this goes. Thoppy. Whack. Whacker's in. It's combat time. They have to plow one of these pests before attacks. Ooh, they didn't do it. Take a zillion. They don't know the top of their deck, so if they Terminus me here, it will be in the blind. What? They're holding Swords of Plowshares and just went to 1 instead. Or they must have Terminus in hand, and they're going to Brainstorm end step. Or just die? I don't know. That was weird. Yeah! We're on the board. Game 2. I think I want the Pyroblast and probably nothing else. This is exactly the type of matchup you want to deal some damage, then burn them out at the end. This is... No, not knowing what kind of sweeper they have is tough. I think this is a Venerated Loxodon matchup. I'm going to keep it. I could cut Ornithopter, or I could start cutting... I think shaving one of the Bushwhackers is fine. And I think I also want to shave an Ornithopter. I want my creatures to deal damage unassisted in this matchup. Just maintaining steady damage is how you win this. Like, okay, Swords of Plowshares me, you still take 2 from the other creature. Terminus me, okay, here's a haste creature. Like, that's what the pace of this matchup's going to look like if I win it. And if I have stuff like Ornithopter that they can just ignore, that's bad for business. First appearance of Venerated Loxodon. Prismatic Vista from them to start. This is actually great because that means they're not going to be able to Terminus me right away. Signal Pest, hell yeah. So play Signal Pest, play Ornithopter, play Mox Opal, play Signal Pest. That's pretty good. Blue, blue. This is Counterbalance. Ooh, I wonder if they have a 5-drop. They did set up the Ponder for the 1-drop. Like, they do know their top card right now. I don't imagine they would expect a 5-drop coming in. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Dress Down. That's a cool one. I'm not gonna sneak a 1/1 Bushwhacker in under this. Like, it's whatever. Like, I could get a 1/1 into play, but I think having the haste burst damage to follow up a sweeper would be more important. Allowing my elephant. Deal. This is kind of a tough spot because if I whack, they dress down, I don't get the trigger, and I don't get the Signal Pest trigger. But that also does commit their dress down. Yeah, let's do it. Whatever. Counterbalance is going to be tough to get through. Or not. Oh, look at that 5-drop on top. What a shame. They didn't dress down. This would have been a great time to dress down. It would have saved them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 damage. Oh, wait, no, it's more than that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, it would have saved them like 12 damage to dress down here. What are they doing? Too late to do that. Sorry. I guess I should have played my other whacker for lethal if they were not interested in dressing down anyway. Yeah, I think they just don't know how dress down works. That's why they made the play they did. But they're currently dead on board. Alright, Uro. What am I attacking for right now? It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They're still dead on board. And I'm going to draw a card in the end step with Sunbaked Canyon. Draw an extra card. And Signal Pesto. Alright, I can test if they have a 1-drop. I know they have Force of Will. Alright. Please force this. There's no reason at all to force that, by the way. I was just hoping they would play bad. The best type of commitment is overcommitment. Alright, Force Pitching Ponder. They're dead on board anyway. I was just flexing. And in for enough. I guess they could Swords to Plowshares and maybe stay alive. We're on the board. I've been saying this whole match, we haven't run into a fair matchup yet, which is where we really shine, and pew, pew, pew. We finally got one. Final round is coming. It's the final round. I'm on the draw. I'm going to keep this hand. It's an artifact short of opaling, but being on the draw gives me a chance to hit. Also, the extra mana is as good on turn 3 as it is on turn 2. Didn't even need to have that conversation, though. Okay. I could whack for 1 billion, or I could just run myself into stifle here. Please don't fucking stifle me. Oh god. Alright. I'm gonna get the mountain. Just mana stability is pretty important here. And then how deep can I go right now? If this were the other whacker, I would be able to work a Burning Tree Emissary into this turn. But I think I have to wait till next turn. And is that true? My opponent seems to be F6, so I'm just going to do what I want here. I can Emissary plus Goblin Guide and just have a bunch of material on the board for next turn. I think that's fine. And then I can still whack next turn also. I leave a mana unspent, but that's not the end of the world. Opponent revealed Snapcaster Mage. Really wish that was the Surge Whacker. Would have got in for 2, 5, 6, 7, 8 on turn 1. Blue-white stuff. Prismatic Ending my Goblin Guide. Wow, that's so much nicer than Swords to Plowshares. They didn't even get the trigger. Oh, baby. Fire me up, Bomat Courier. Hold me closer, Tiny Courier. Bang. In we go. I wonder why they exiled Goblin Guide and not Burning Tree Emissary. They're both 2/2s, and they didn't spend that blue mana anyway. They just gave up a trigger for no reason. Yeah, and they could have curved Snapcaster Ending, get Goblin Guide this turn. Now they have to get a 1/1 instead of a 2/2 in Bomat Courier. Yeah, I think they could have done that better. Hierarchical. If I attack with everything, they take 2, and they trade with my Emissary. If I Elephant, I could Elephant and still draw a card. Wow. Just get myself set up. Bang. It's elephant time. Okay. Is that the best elephant we've had today? I think it is. In the blue deck just turned into 4 mana, which is scary stuff, but only one of it's white, so we're not getting verdicted. This is enough mana to like brainstorm, put back Terminus, pass the turn, brainstorm again, flip Terminus. Or they could just concede. Loxodon Hierarch, finally showing up in these fair matchups after getting boarded out in all the other rounds. Yeah, this is just Pyroblast in and Ornithopter out. I think last round I did a Thopter and a Whacker, but I think just cutting 2 Thopters is probably better. And it makes Mox Opal a little worse, but I have a lot of artifacts in this deck. That's what I'm doing. 2 Pyroblasts in, nothing else. I'm on the draw, of course, in game number 2, because I won the first one. I'm gonna keep this. This just looks like a burn deck. And I'll tell you, as a fair blue player, burn sucks as a matchup. You just don't want to play that one ever. I would very much like to find the second land to set this hand off, but in the meantime, I'll just crunch with Goblin Guide. They did pick up the island. Unfortunate. Oh, and they had the blue blast. Good stuff. Should have played around it, let on Bomat Courier. There was just a pause in their draw step that I'm not sure if they've been pausing in every draw step. They might have just drawn Terminus. They top-bottomed Preordain. Ooh, awkward. I could play Bomat, try to get ahead, but I think that... get ahead on my artifact count is what I'm trying to say here. I think that holding that until I find another one makes more sense. I mean, they pretty clearly have Plow here, but I'm still gonna make my attack. Okay. They're untapping into Counterbalance, and I've dealt 0 damage to them in my first 2 turns. So this is probably a bad spot we're in. Bummer. Okay. Please don't have a 1-drop on top. I need this. Okay. Tundra on top. I'm not playing my Opal. Okay, finally connected with a creature. They have Tundra and 4 mystery cards. One of which might be Terminus. You're gonna betray me like this, Monastery Mentor? I thought we were friends. I thought we had a long and storied history together. But here you are, betraying me. I think Ancient Den is my best draw. Just turn the Mox Opal right on, no questions asked. I would take most sources of mana though. Shit. Alright, I'm gonna test the counterbalance with Opal. I imagine they have a 1 on top. I'm not gonna give them that for free. I mean, yeah, they didn't shuffle their Ponder, just had to make sure of that. I think I just have to pass the turn here. I can Bolt Mentor on their turn after they draw. Null Rod, are you shitting me? I'll at least Bolt Mentor, see what happens. We're not winning this game, by the way. They were piled up with removal. Oh, geez. Okay. All right. Stop the damn match. Anything change here? And I still think the answer is no. I could bring in Prismatic Ending to try to remove Counterbalance or whatever, but I still think the answer is get under them and pound. And that's what I'm going to do. Okay. This is an Opal hand. It's a pretty good one, too. I'm going to keep it. Oh, Furnace, Opal. Wow. Do I have to Pyroblast this? Force pitching Jace was the play. I could Pyroblast that. I'm gonna Pyroblast this. It's gonna slow me down a lot, but I think having functional mana is gonna be worth something to me at some point. Land? Cool. Alright, Great Furnace turns this right on. Signal Pest. Whacker. Let's go. They can Swords to Plowshares here. They could have, if they were going to Hydroblast, they would have done it already. And I am stone dead to Null Rod. Like, holy shit, dead. Just Null Rod. But forcing a Mox Opal if you have Null Rod in hand is kind of questionable. Okay. I'm going to Bolt them to get Surge. Then get in for another 4. I hope. Or they just cast Counterspell. Okay, Brainstorming. They did not flip Terminus. Alright, Bushwhacker in. Swords to Plowshares, you got it. This elephant is just begging for a chance to come into play. Alright, it's elephant time. This is how we turn this corner. I hope. Just a bigger creature. Make my other shitter better. Snapcaster, that's good. They're down to 2 cards in hand, but I'm at 0. I have the Sunbaked Canyon, mercifully. I don't think they can attack. Memnite, what a twist. Draw this card. No! That's not what I wanted at all. I can play out the Memnite, I guess. And I don't think I attack here. I think holding back the attackers until I can whack, or I could draw a Lightning Bolt to clear the Snapcaster. I think that just pumping the brakes a little here is good. Though I can feel this one slipping away. If I were on the blue side of this, I'd feel really good. Preordain. Here we are in the blue versus non-blue phase of the game, where their top decks could be cantrips and mine are just definitely not. They bottom the Preordain and then did not shuffle the Ponder. Sucks that they have Snapcaster Mage. That card is not played very much in Legacy anymore, but it's very good against my deck. Alright, there's a land. Right, I'm going to push for damage here. Are they going to Terminus? What is this? Brainstorm in the middle of combat for? Okay, put you to 9. I do have burn in my deck, so every point matters. Ponder from them. Did not shuffle. Shark Typhoon is unbeatable here. I'm going to attack anyway. Make them have it. And I'll put my 2/2 into play. No way to use that mana. I walked right into that. Okay. Terminus. Got me good. What draw do I want? Probably Bomat Courier. Definitely not Plateau. I am going to keep playing out lands, though, because if I draw Sunbay Canyon, I want all my mana, etc. But also just hardcast an elephant. It's done. It's over. They didn't have this last turn. I needed them to brick a little bit. They did bottom the card with Jace. Gives me hope for the future. Nope, not anymore. Too bad. Yeah, they were in top deck mode last turn. They drew the Jace. It would have been in play already if they had it the turn before. And now the door is shut. Wow, legacy decks are good. Okay. There's that jerk. I think I'm just gonna hold it back. If I can at any point surprise them with what I'm capable of, I think that's my only chance to win the game, though I don't think I can win the game. Maybe if Jace was just spinning wheels looking for answers, I'd be able to overload it eventually, but yeah, this counterbalance mentor. Okay, I don't need to see more of this. We're done. Time to debrief that league. The artifact build, I'm not sure that I actually liked. In Mox Opal is pretty exciting. That's something that did lead to some cool draws. The fact that a lot of decks play Null Rod in Legacy anyway is kind of a concern. Like, we definitely lost some games because we couldn't tap these for mana. Wasteland is also a concern in Legacy, so maybe getting the third color off Taiga is worth less than just having more basic mountains in the deck. The burn plan never really came up. Like, I had Shrapnel Blast in my hand once. I only drew it once in the entire league, and it was when I was locked under a sphere. But if it was castable, they were at 5. Like, the theory held up. They just had me under control at that point, and I wasn't able to cast my spell. You could just play more robust creatures. Another way to build this deck is just with, like, Foundry Street Denizen and Mud Button Cohort and just other goblin cards, and then you get Goblin Grenade instead of Shrapnel Blast, which costs 1 less mana. It's not an instant, but it does cost less. You lose Mox Opal, but you could even play like Ragavan and Zergo and get Mox Amber. That might be a thing worth considering. If there's a lot of ways you can move these creatures around, I actually think that if you're off the Mox Opal build, you get to cut Great Furnace for 4 more Horizon lands. You just get the Fiery Islet as well. And then you get a steady stream of cards forever. I do kind of like Goblin Grenade as more of a plan too. Like, you could play 3 of those if you have enough goblins to support it instead of the 2 Shrapnel Blasts. I don't think Loxodon would be in that deck because you want actual 0 drops to enable Loxodon. Yeah, that just changes to a totally different version of the deck that I think would be cool to explore. The thing that I said during the rounds, though, that there are already decks that exist in 8-wax space in the format, in the Hollow One Madness Vengevine deck, the 8-Walla deck. And I think that if you want to do this kind of thing, you should just be doing that. It's the same spiritual predecessor. Like, they're in the same play space. They're both aggro decks. They're both trying to get over the finish line. They're both trying to explode in the early turns of the game. They have haste creatures, and I think that's like just a better way to do what this deck is trying to do. If you are married to specifically bushwhacking, though, I think that exploring a more goblin-centric version and getting off the artifact thing, maybe play some legends so you can have Mox Amber, like that makes sense. You could also just cut the Moxen entirely for Simian Spirit Guide, which doesn't require any stipulations. It's just fast mana, let's go. But it is a short burst, it's card disadvantage for short-term gain, which might be worth doing in a deck like this. I think I would probably still play Bomat Courier even without the artifact theme. This card is a nice one. One of the few ways to actually refill a hand in a deck like this. But those are my thoughts on 8-Whack. Sorry I didn't put up a better result for you, Kevin. This is a work in progress. A lot of science was conducted, lessons were learned here, and I hope this was fun and helpful for anyone who's interested in this sort of thing. So thanks again, Kevin. Everyone who's watching, make sure to like and subscribe the video. Check out the Patreon or YouTube memberships if you want to support the channel. There's merch. There's a TCG Player affiliate link. If you're going to go buy this deck, go through my link and it helps out the channel. So thank you all for watching and your continued support, and I'll see you next time.